Hello, perv lords, scrub lords, and everyone in between, and welcome to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, where we ask the question, should this series have been recorded? Most definitely. But I'm trying to break back into that. Then I'll put more Haven on the channel. But without further ado, let's continue on with this game. If the controllers will sync up. Well, I'm having trouble with my control. Oh no. Turn off, then load back up. Ah, there we go. Now it's working. We continue our life, and the goal to survive to age 20. Now, as per the usual, I don't quite remember exactly what I'm doing, especially since I was sick for a solid 2 weeks. I don't remember much aside from Vase. This dude is a horrible, massive bag of dicks. And my girl in interest is dating him, and he is making her incredibly toxic. My goal, make her no longer a toxic person. To do that, he's got to either die, Vase, or she's got to break up with him. How will I achieve that? I do not yet know. I don't have anything you'd like, though. But I'll give you a flower. Aw, I don't think she liked it. Ah, and I gotta take the month off. Ah, shit. Well, may as well take the month off. Teaching my Vriki, Mina Seathel, some lessons. Relax in the park. Calculus. Oh, Cal. Blah, 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 blah. Cal calls out to you as you're walking through the geoponics. Solomnika, hold up. Solomnika, hold up. There we go. He jogs over to you. Have you ever thought about working on the farm? I really need some more people, especially if they are to have some know-how about plants and stuff. Can you help? Sure. Cal lets out a huge sigh of relief. Oh, good. He says, just come by whenever you have time, okay? Like, today at work, or tomorrow. Delusions. This is a -1. Sure, it's a all-rounder card, but it's a -1. You find Tangent in engineering and set down the bag of squelchy, goopy Hopeye eggs. Her eyes go wide. You found them? You found them? She exclaims. That's wonderful! I was always beginning to think you'd forgotten about my request. She reaches for the eggs, but stops. Wait. What is this sound? Are they? They are. They are. You hear wet crackling coming from the bag. You're about to witness the miracle of life, Vertumnan style. What do? Yeah. Analyze the process. You pull up your holopalm and prepare to take notes. Why miss the opportunity? You and Tang watch and wonder as the gel-like shell of... Excuse me. of the largest Hopeye egg splits like a ripe melon in the sun, spilling out a tiny squirming pink baby and a small puddle of amniotic fluid. You watch the last two eggs intently, but through the clear eggshells, you can't see any movement inside at all. Not even a heartbeat. It's okay, Tanks. It's okay, Tank says. We only need one. The tiny Hopeye is on its feet, well, foot, within minutes, taking cautious little hops on the sleek surface of the lab bench. Magnificent, Tangent says, keeping a palm-sized Hopeye from falling on the table. I expect them to be helpless from birth, like kittens or birds. Not already moving around like an ungulate. Incredible. I can't wait to study it. I'm gonna keep it. Do I keep it? She'd put it in a cage. Dissect it, maybe. Oh, no. It's yours. A specimen container? No. Damn it. I made the wrong decision. But I've never reloaded a save on this game. Ever. Alright, I'm not about to do it now. Oh. Now I feel all shitty inside. Well, I did... Wait, how you been treating the Hopeye? Damn it. I did say I'd help. But my biology's so close. My biology's so close. I want a hug. You spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into the huge tarped up section at the end of the lounge. He waves at you. Well, as much as a wave as he could do with his arms full of mushwood. I don't remember the name I gave him. Tim. Hey, Assalamualaikum, he calls out to you. Have you come to see the bar? Have you come to see the bar? You give him a questioning look. The bar? You don't know Rex super well. You've never heard anything about a bar. He gestures to the tarps. My bar, he says. I've been working on a special project ever since I joined the construction crew. The colony needs a place to cut loose, you dig? He looks up at it, beaming with pride. I think it's about halfway done. You take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept it all pretty well tarped up, and hates letting people inside to peek. But you can tell it's big, perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project. But Rex has had a lot of help from his crew, and from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. I'm sure it'll be great. Rex comes over to you and slings you into a one-armed hug. And just seeing you makes me super energized. He says, I can almost hear the music now. That's right, the bars can have live music. You know anyone who plays an instrument? Gonna work double time to finish this place. If you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. Mushwood. Mushwood! What cute you shy smile. Nothing a dog likes more than a stick, right? He likes mushwood logs. Ah! So cute! So hot and mysterious. And dog-like. But yeah, I've been sidetracked again by Doggo's hotness. Anyway. No, we want to go schooling. Where's the school again? Ah, here we are. Apply to assist the doctor. A surveyor team runs into you on the way to the medbay, carrying one of their own on a stretcher. He's bleeding badly from a wound in his neck and crying for help. Help in the medbay. You drop what you're doing and hold the pressure wound until the team can load him into the medbed. He groans as the restoration technology knits his blood vessels together like magic. You wash your bloody hands and accept thanks from his team. Good work there, Salonika. Chief Engineer Instant says, You know, with how the colony's grown, I could use an assistant nurse here. Someone I can trust to take care of things while I'm working in the lab. Come back next month and I'll give me a hand if you're interested. Engineering needs to be 50. That's insane. Yo, I can pump my biology and empathy? Yo! And it gets me friendship with Tangent. Cool. And it gets me kudos with 15 stress. To the medbay! You report for your first shift as Dr. Instance nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor for everyone on the colony. All the colony's medical needs were supposed to be covered by the medbeds. And then eventually with trained medical professionals from your generation. With the growing number of wounded and sick, it's pulling Instance attention away from her actual work in the lab. Hence why she needs help. I'm a doctor, not a physician. Instance grumbles as she wipes through her hollow palm and gives you access to the medbay systems. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I can treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There, she says as the haptics of your hollow palm pulse. You should have access now. Don't bother me for anything less than a cranial bleed. It's a medbed, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions and push the right buttons. You need something? Ask Congruence. Congruence beams at you from the hollow monitor. Can you handle that? If it's documented, I'll figure it out. I can handle anything. That's the spirit. Congruence chirps. It's you and me, Salamnika. High five. Boom! High five. You gently bonk Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. Ha, ha, ha. There are no patients today, so you're just going to be brushing up on your first aid training. Every colonist gets first aid training starting in their early teens. Lungs gotta breathe, heart's gotta beat, blood should stay inside the body. Check. You run through quiz scenarios with Congruence for a whole week. CPR, elevate and put pressure on wounds. Alleviate and put pressure on wounds. Wrap broken bones, flush eyes with water, leave foreign objects in and be real careful with neck injuries. Fun fact, Congruence informs you. In the field, your holopalm can discharge its batteries all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable long enough to bring them here, to a medbed. That's where you and Dr. Instance will take over. You'll be fine. It's only a matter of time. It might only be a matter of life or death. No biggie. It's just death. Putting my cards on the table. And just like that, I hit the goal. And I shattered it by a full 4 points. So what's my biology at? 62. So 33. We need 66 for our next biology perk. So it sounds like we'll get 2 months of biology. But our empathy, not bad, 44. Early wet. It's a new season, which means I can look around for new stuff to utilize. Like mushwood and stuff. Oh, you're hanging out here? Well, there's not much new hanging with you, so we'll move on. Nothing new so far. Hugs! Always remember, hug your local dog boy. They like the hugs. Hugs is doggo best friend next to person. And if it's actual doggo, pats on the head and words are things that exist. Words are things that exist. Belly rub, that's what I'm trying to say. Belly rub. Now we move on to our next lesson in being a nurse. To the med bay. Yo, it's Nem! It's been a while. Nem comes in with a training injury, a gouge that runs from her knee to ankle. Oh, shit! She hobbles in with a big smile. This one's gonna be kick-ass. No, I gotta get it right. Yeah. This one's gonna be kick-ass. Alright? This one's gonna be kick-ass. There we go. That's her voice. She crows as you help her get into the medbed. The medbeds are miraculous technology, combined with the genetic modifications of your body. They can cure diseases and make your cells regenerate quickly, repairing even the most mangled of limbs. If it's still attached to your body, the medbay can heal it. For them, though, her genetic mutation means that instead of regenerating smooth new skin, she gets rough blue scales instead, much stronger than human skin. Nem flicks the dials on the control panel and fiddles with the angle of the lamp overhead. Seriously? This thing is more comfortable than my bed? It's worth more than the whole ship, too. Instant snaps. So don't break it. Nem pulls her hands in with an awkward giggle. You connect to the med bed with your holopalm and see the interface and diagnostics there. It's a confusing mess of readouts and buttons. The user manual is ridiculously obtuse. You ask Instance for help, but she just scoffs. I don't have time or the temperament to walk you through it. I learned how to do it myself, and so can you. Just don't break it. Looks like we need to press these right buttons. Away we go. It's really intuitive. If you have half a brain for it, you figure out the machine with zero problems. The sun lamps turn on. The monitor says, "Please lie still for 2 hours." Nem groans. "It's gonna take forever," she complains. "Stay with me a while?" You end up staying the whole time, keeping Nem company. Working in the med bay. Yay, yay, yay. I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Damn it. Oh. Okay. Animals. Toughness. Can I train toughness? There's one. That's bravery, not toughness, though. And toughness only goes up by 1. Work on the farm. Tend to the animals. Let's go do that. Hey, Slomnika. Cal calls out to you. I heard you're gonna help out with the animals. Get it? Hard. He leans on the rake and laughs, clutching his stomach. Did you know how I learned that one from your dad? Man, he was funny. His laugh trails off, but he musters a wistful smile. Your dad taught me a lot of things about taking care of the animals. And now I get to teach you. Pretty cool, right? Cal introduces you to the float cows. I know they're cute, but these ladies aren't pets, he says, scratching their noses. They're livestock. And more than that, they're not really domesticated, like our animals back on Earth. They're more like tame. Cal spreads his arms, but until then, you got all these guys. You want meat first? I don't think we should eat animal stuff. To the triplets! No joke. We thought these guys were just plants for the first couple of years. Cal says, we transplanted them from the wild into the greenhouse. But I guess that was just part of their life cycle. Because it turns out, they're sentient. Can move around and stuff. The bristle slugs! Oh yeah, we got tons of them, he says. They're great, slow and gentle. Needed to catch. You should already know. Don't let the spikes fool you though. They're actually really godly. And don't mind it when you pet them. It actually helps them in the wild. They've been scratching up on all sorts of things to knock off them itchy berries. Shh, good to the float cows. Yeah. The float cow he captured's still here. Look, there it is, he says, gesturing out at the herd. He's going to try to follow where he's pointing. Eventually you see it. Whoa, it's a much bigger than when you last saw it. It's been eaten well. And guess what? Cal says with a grin. It was pregnant. Now, all these little floaties are first babies. You smile as you watch the float calves bob along with their mother. Figured out if they kept feeding them what they'd been eating during polling, they'll keep making milk year round. He continues proudly. It'll make them heavy enough so they don't throw it away. Otherwise, we'd have to keep them on leads, like balloons. Sugar bug! Cal takes you to the rows of gates where the soft, squishy sugar bugs are all clumped up together in a moist muck. These guys are pretty cool, he says, picking up one. It fits perfectly in his palm. They're a colony, like us. And if you tickle them, you get. He brushes his finger along the top of the sugar bug, and a little jet of gooey stuff comes out. Sugar bug syrup, he says. Pretty neat, huh? I don't think we should eat animal stuff. Let's get started. Cal giggles. Yeah, bait that. We need someone to look about the cow stables. They might float, but their poop doesn't. Have fun. God damn it. Damn it, Cal. Super girl. Mid-wet. Late wet. Okay. I'm gonna have to take this month off because we all know what's coming. Where should I relax? I think I'm gonna relax here again. Relax in the park. Your mother's white Astronia flowers are flourishing in the garden, and everywhere else too. They're really taken to something in the soil here. You see them even outside the walls. Something must be carrying their seeds out toward the wilderness. Yep, I'm gonna keep these. Late wet to glow. Wait, you rest and glow. No! Now I've got to do something with my day. My month. Well, I am getting in my animals. And it even gets me a bit of empathy, which is cool. There are only a few glowing plants in the garden, so in the dark out glow you have to do a lot of outdoor work by lamplight. In the eerie not light, fertile earth dirt looks like the same as Vertumnan dirt. It's hard to see what you're doing. Fippe! They're all fours. Let's go! You're heading to bed when the sirens begin to wail, heralding the beginning of a new yearly xenofauna attack. Outside your window, you see the soldiers begin to form up. This year, Nem is heading up her own squad. You see her red hair bobbing along with others as she rushes to defend the walls. Nem looks at you in surprise, but nods when she sees you're ready to fight. Someone hands you a plasma rifle and you join the squad from the walls. You stand shoulder to shoulder with Nem and watch the Xenos mass on the far side of the fire break. Look at them all, she says darkly. If they keep coming, more and more every year, what are they even waiting for? Why don't they just attack already? She shoots up a look at the rest of the squad, all of them Helios, mostly young adults like you, and lowers her voice. I just want to get it all over with, you know. She confides in you. These Helios learned to march before they could walk. I want to prove I can handle myself as well as they can. She runs her fingers down the barrel of her plasma rifle, where she's stenciled the name Kombucha, her brother. A lowing from the forest draws your attention back to the enemy line. The walls of animals are approaching in an eerie unison, their footsteps drumming and rumbling tattoo across the ground. Nem clutches her rifle tightly. Okay, here it goes. The animals approach the wall at a steady pace, but stop short of the walls. Instead, they mill around the outside of the colony near the garrison. In the eerie silence, you hear the sudden crackle of plasma rifle fire, and a flying creature falls to the ground. You hear Security Chief fret from his post in the walls, telling his squad to hold fire. His voice rings through the still expectant air. The Xenos are just standing there. An explosion rocks through the colony, a shockwave hitting you like a physical blow. Then the heat right after, like walking into a wall of fire. You're pelted with debris raining from the sky. A column of smoke billows from the burning section of the wall near the garrison. From the thick belt of shock that ripples through the colony, you can't imagine it was on purpose. Nem recovers first, letting out a strangled war cry. Oh, those assholes! Those assholes! She yells. They knew our weakest point. How? She gestures to the flood of Xenos pouring through the gap of the hole in the wall. There! She orders. Protect the gates! Shoot at them from the walls! One. Fuck. I heard ass and now I'm here. Hey Sarah, how are you? I'm gonna have to push through a lot of stress to deal with this. Oh, that's so much stress. The Xenos pour through the smoking hole in the wall. Wave after wave of creatures of all sizes, fist-sized insects, all the way up to megafauna like bush bobs and muckwalkers. Great lumbering beasts, the likes of which you've never seen. The largest ones soak up the gunfire and mash through the defenders on the ground, while the smaller, faster creatures make for the ship and geoponics domes. As your squad is getting in the rhythm of defense, Governor Lum storms up the steps. You can see the whites all around his furious eyes as he grabs both you and Nem by your shirt fronts, almost hauling you off your feet. Which one of you did it? He growls. Which one of you set the bomb? What? It wasn't us, Nem exclaims, clutching Lum's forearm. Lum releases you with a snarl. It had to be an inside job. Someone with access to the garrison. One of the Stratos colony, he spits. You're all traitors to humanity. He looks burned, possibly badly. Well, I don't see it. Parts of his uniform are still smoldering. You wonder if he and his squad were near the explosion. If people are dead because of it. He rounds on them. Give me command of your squad, he orders. I'm taking them down to the courtyard to engage the enemy directly. I took a chance on you, an enemy, but you can't be trusted, just like the rest of them. My squad? Nem stammers. She looks confident. Lum is the governor and outranks her as a soldier, but he's Lum. His plan is bound to be dangerous or even suicidal. The rest of his squad are Helios born, yes, but they're also just teenagers like you. Don't you need us up here? Supporting defenders from the walls? Or more useful up here? Lum doesn't look convinced, but your support emboldens Nem. She stands up straighter and hardens expression. I can't send those people into close combat. She says firmly, we're trained for range defense, not melee. The governor looks at your squad mates, but none of them make a move to follow him. He curls his lips in disgust and stalks away. Your squad stays in the walls, providing range support for the people fighting below. The air is thick with smoke and chaos, but when it clears, you can tell that against all odds, the defenders have regained the upper hand. The courtyard is littered with bodies, human and Xeno both. In the distance, you can see the geoponics domes are shattered and parts of the command is on fire. The colony was staggered by the explosion, the attack from within. In the quiet of the following battle, the colony comes out of hiding to gather within the courtyard, surveying the damage. Governor Lum is on the warpath. I'll find out who did it, and I'll have their goddamn head. He yells. I want every single straddle lined up and questioned. Those were our explosives. I want to know who set the goddamn bomb. I'm Batman. You and everyone from the Strato are hauled aside and questioned on your whereabouts prior to the attack. Everyone is except Dis. He's nowhere to be found, dead or alive. Shit, we gotta go find Dis. 19. Age 19. Extra gear slot. Well, that's nice. I need to remember how to get my gear slot. Is it in memories? Yeah, it's memories. Plus 50 to combat for when I need it. Where is he? Where did Dis go? God damn it. Dis ain't in the colony. Shit. You pass the construction yard on your way to pick a delivery at the depot. Rex waves you over. Hey, come over and look at this, he says. leading you over to where a portion of the heliosphere is being married to the old living quarters of the scaffolding of mushwood. Isn't this wild? It's like our two ships are actually becoming one. He throws his arm around your shoulder. It's like a metaphor, get it? The colony and us from Helios, learning to work together. How we build our environment affects how we live, you know? I wish Governor Lum understood that. You should come by and help, he continues. It's really fun. You get to build things and construction and which things exist. And the construction crew is really nice. You'd get to hang out with me too. Wait. Why not start right now? He hands you a plas cutter, a gun-shaped tool that emits a thin beam of serrated plasma. No time like the present, right? Seek says we always need more workers here. But you do have another job that you promised. We're gonna work hard. You help Rex hold up the part of the wall that he fits a bracket into. There's a lot of pounding and wiggling to get it to fit, which delights Rex every time he gets to make a joke about it. It's sweaty, rewarding work, and you learn something about engineering while you're at it. Chief Administrator Seek comes storming out of command to find you. Solomnica? They snap. Where have you been? I expected you hours ago. Whoa, my bad, Rex says, moving to stand between you and Seek. If he had a tail, it would be between his legs. The perfect picture of an apologetic puppy. I asked her to help out. We were super short on hands around here, and she did a great job. Seek grudgingly accepts that you did in fact do good work. They tell you that you're cleared to help out in construction if you'd like, snidely commenting that you'd be better suited for manual labor than the job you were actually supposed to do today. Savage. Damn. $41. Let's go. The investigation into the bombing during Glow continued all month. Governor Lum and his goons can't find a way to pin it on anyone in the Stratos. And over time, people have come to accept that Dis was probably the culprit. The rumor doesn't make anyone feel better, but it does take heat off of others, including yourself. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have become more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep that night. How did Hopeye get into your room? You chase it out of your balcony door and find yourself in a thickly wooded path, the mushwood pressing in close on every side. The light is weird here, pink and glittering, casting teal shadows. The Hopeye disappears down a hole in the ground without thinking. You dive after it, squeezing your shoulders to fit through. You tumble into a cave, beautiful and surreal, shimmering with a light that seems to come from within. When you take a step forward, granules of pink sand crunch underfoot. The cave opens out to a forest and seems lifted from a fairy tale. The sunlight beams through the beaks in the trees, illuminating a path of mushroom-ringed stepping stones that lead you to a small cottage. You spot the Hopeye hurrying further down the path. Follow! Past the cottage is a field dotted with hunched over figures. You watch them tend the crop with simple robotic monitors, not caring as you tromp through their work. Their straw hats and overalls look tattered, and when you realize they're not human, they're made of metal. Sightless glass stares back at you. Metal faces of pock marked with rust. The rasp of their terrible creaking floods your ears like a cloud of cicadas. The closest robot turns to you. Its glass eyes shine red and grab you by the wrist. Its grip is painful, bringing you to your knees in the loamy dirt. It pushes you down, planting you like a seed. The ground swallows you and you can't even cry out. You're falling. You land hard in solid ground, your breathing whooshing from you. It's hot here, impossibly so. The twin suns beat down on you, burning your skin on contact, and the air is almost painful to breathe. In all directions stretches a barren wasteland of dead trees, like bones punching the dry skin of the planet. You rise from the dusty, cracked earth and begin to walk, stumbling over the bones of unknown creatures. You don't know where you're waking, only that the horizon doesn't change. The red sky just stretches overhead, like a great bowl of heat pressing down on you. A great roar shakes you, and you turn to see a chimeric creature, a manticore, but with Governor Lum's face. He towers over you from a podium, his claws clacking and his tail thrashing as he proselytizes. As he does politics stuff. We primeval forests felling, he chants. We the river streaming. We the river streaming, piercing deep the mines within. We the surface broad broad surveying. We the virgin soil upheaving. Overhead the sky is streaked with smoke. You hear rumbling in the distance. You plant your legs and refuse to look away from the beast. With a yell behind you, Mars appears and swings a sword made of light up at the Lum abomination. Its head rolls to the dirt, but continues to speak. You turn from the scene and walk away, feeling the memory of it cling to you as you push and claw your way through another reality. You stumble forwards into a dark, glowing forest. Blessedly cool air brushes your cheek, thick with moisture and making your face wet as if you'd been crying. The path wends upwards, flanked by humanoid figures carrying candles. Some wearing robes, others armor, others lab coats, and envirosuits and formal wear. Some are elderly, and some barely even 10 years old. All burn to look at you and realize with a jolt, they're you. Every single one of them is you. You see yourself reflected in their eyes as they gaze up at you dispassionately, a line of possibilities stretching out as far as you can see. The hot eye crouches between the ranks and gazes solemnly out as you pass. You walk steadily upward, feeling their unclenching gaze follow you. Overhead, the wormhole hangs in the sky like an overripe fruit, bending the heavy branch of space and time toward you. It's so close, you feel as if you could touch it. You stretch your hand out, seeking. You wake up. Milky, quiet sunlight pours through your window. Flakes of bromid snow piling against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. It's your birthday. You're 19 now. Only one more year as a teenager. feel like I should get rest. And then go and try and find this. I know I had said I had my goal of trying to help them not be toxic, but we gotta find this. The garden is a peaceful place where you don't have to think about how the colony is always simmering about being at war against the creatures of Vertumna. You can just sit and empty your mind, smelling the sweet perfume and flowers and listening to the wind rustle the green grass. It's one place to find peace, even when it feels like everyone else is losing their minds. These are good cards still. Gotta go find this. We gotta find this. The only way in the in the resting ridges is by glider. Part vehicle, part kite, and all adrenaline. You land on the rocky, broken up spine of the nearest ridge and nearly fall off when you look down at the plummeting slope in the basin below. You're a long way up. Utopia glides in beside you and steadies you. Careful, Salomnika, she says. I need you to keep your wits about you out here. I don't much like the idea of sending you out solo, but we're spreading our resources pretty darn thin while investigating the Convergent Domain ruins. Convergent Domain ruins? You look around, the landscape is like nothing you've ever seen before. Dry, crackled. Dry, cracked soil gives way to steep cliffs. What little vegetation here is brittle and sharp. You can feel the dry air wick away the moisture in your lips. Wait, what the heck is that? You point out, Utopia gives the nudge with her foot. Beats me, she says. You unearth an object. It's pulsing with light and warm to the touch. Hold up, Utopia says. Don't just go picking things up, Slomnika. It could be radioactive, you know. Utopia waves her hollow palm crystal over it, then crackles the interface. Only a little, she concludes. Whatever it is, it looks old. Tens of thousands of years old. Like thousands of years old, not tens of thousands. We've been digging up glowing gadgets all over the region, but got no clue what they're for. You hang on to that, maybe you'll figure it out. Well, there are buildings here, Utopia says. Traces of them anyway. Maybe 10, 20,000 years old. We sure didn't put them there. We've checked them out, but not thoroughly. Mostly just trying to get a feel for who lived there, and why they ain't no more. Based on some glyphs, we've started calling them the Convergent Domain. Whoever they are, they built things to last, Utopia admires. It ain't just arrowheads and cave paintings. There's real architecture, machines even. Oh, okay. And that... Oh, those, Utopia says, pointing at a crystal formation so densely packed into the ravine that it looks like sparking river. Like a sparking river. More outcrops and crystal decorate the slopes. They're all over the place. Be careful. They're all over the place. Be careful with them. Not sure if they're animal, vegetable, or mineral. She points off in the distance. There's a big island of them over there, like a glacier, covering the whole damn place. Might be related to the convergence domain, but we ain't sure yet. So anyway, those ruins are the main thing. We need to survey while we're right here. Utopia says, keep an eye out for anything else weird. Utopia claps the dust off her hands. Well, my job here's done. You're all set. Turn out to fall off a cliff. You're walking along the ridgeline when your foot knocks some rocks down the slope. You anticipate the familiar clatter as they plunge down to the chasm, but realize it's silent, just the wind. You peer down the slope, nothing's falling. Wait, you're actually dislodged with your footer, floating. You take a step forward and realize you feel lighter too, like you've taken off your mountaineering gear. Take another step. It's a struggle to keep your foot on the ground. With one more step forward, you realize it's possible to take both feet off the ground. You're floating. You nudge your foot and let the momentum float you towards a few feet, feeling more untethered by gravity the farther forward you go. The ridgeline is narrow, with a steep drop on either side. There's no way around the strange anti-grav field. If you fall out of it, you could plummet down the chasm. Onward! Bravery challenge 70? Whoa. So the card's a 1. Shit. Not easily victorious. You float forward, allowing yourself to ride higher and higher, until you're able to swim and tumble through the air with ease. Woohoo! Wow, you're totally weightless. You float over the shiny, lumpy rock, jutting up from the spine of the ridge. As you pass over it, you feel gravity gently begin to embrace you again until it pulls you back down. Your feet touch the ground again on the other side, and your legs immediately give out. What a rush! You mark the location on your map for other surveyors. Ever so often you see absolutely massive creatures here, like giant snake dragons with thousands of legs and shimmering scales. They're so large that if one crosses your path, you're in for a wait. Which is exactly what they're doing. The gargantuan dragon has been slowly lumbering over this ridge for at least half an hour, its body disappearing into the heat haze of the chasms on both sides. Its feet slowly undulate across the cracked soil, making mushy noises and scattering boulders in its wake. The creature is moving more than slowly enough for you to climb up, using its large soft spikes as handholds. It's going to take hours to get anywhere interesting, but from up on its back you can see further. Also, there are other creatures up here. You've climbed up right next to the cluster of Dorbs moths, heads tucked under their wings like they're sleeping. In the other direction, there's even A bush bub. Or rather, it looks like a pile of rocks or some twigs. Easily done. You're free and clear on the other side of the commuter train creature. The path ahead is blocked by a field of snaking vines and brambles. They're flowering, enormously happy blossoms, swaying in the shimmering heat waves. You could push through them, but your hollow palm beeps a warning. A radiation alert. These flowers seem to be highly radioactive. Far too radioactive for the mid-shielding your suit provides. You might be able to pass through if you don't mind feeling the effects of sickness until you detox in a medbed. It doesn't kill you outright. Radiation is unpredictable. Take a sample. You snag a sample. You can study it in geoponics. Yeah, I'm not getting around with radiation. Not smart. There's a strange heat haze shimmering across the path ahead. Oddly, it doesn't clear up as you get closer. The mirage effect is strong. The refracted air makes it seem like there's a pool of water on the ground and plants waving around, but something's just off about the illusion. Can't put your finger why, though. Typical! But you can become Spooderman. Wrong type of radioactivity. The faster you move, the faster the mirage disperses. You approach cautiously. As you do, you realize what is wrong about the mirage. It's impossible. The plants on the other side of the haze are different. Not just wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, from the layers of air, but bigger, older. And it's different time of day, evening, not morning. Then you see her. It's you. Through the heat haze, you see yourself in the distance, walking toward you. You move to the edge of the mirage and peek around it, but she isn't there. You can only see her through the heat haze. It's like some kind of doorway or a mirror. Jump through. You take a running leap and jump through the heat haze. You're surprised to find yourself on the other side alone, with everything looking very normal. You turn around and the haze is gone. You're pretty sure you're still where you started. It's still morning. Weird. You come across a particularly flat area, a large field of obsidian. Well, obsidian is only the word you have for it, but you've never seen obsidian this bright. It's like a rainbow's trapped underneath its glossy black surface. Like the entire ground is a polished black opal. The field glints under the sun at certain angles, momentarily blinding you. It looks slippery and shiny. Skate on through. Super goal! You take off your shoes and glide around in your socked feet. You take a tumble and get a little bruised, though. You have a blast. Woo! Why not do some science, too? You find a patch that is a little different and take some readings. You confirm the material is not natural. It must have been created by the convergent domain, because it's the same stuff they make the thumpers out of, silica, mixed with some trace organic elements. By looking at striations of the cliffs nearby, you would determine this entire region used to be covered in a thick sheet of this dark glass rock. In most places where there is now a layer of soil over it, but you dig down far enough, you'll probably find this layer everywhere, like the whole place has been glassed. No wonder there are so few plants here. The convergent domain must have paved this area to discourage plant life from growing, all except the crystals, which seem to spread happily on the obsidian pavement. I don't want to go through the red. I don't want to get irradiated. I don't want to become Spooderman. I guess I'll have to take the month worth of medbedding radiation. An hour later, you realize your mistake as it sets in. You'll be sick for days and will need radiation treatment when you return. You investigate a weird squeaking noise, eventually following it to its source. An undulating swarm of sleek creatures are gathering off the cliff above you. You watch as they throw their tiny bodies off the edge, plummeting past you and out of sight. They scream and screech in excitement. Okay, that's weird. Investigation. You pick your way through the slope, finding a second herd of miraculously unharmed weasels at the bottom. As you watch them, one lands on your head and squeaks indignantly. And goes to join the rest of his kin. Ooh. You heard the flapping of wings and look up. A whole colony of pink and orange dorb moths cling to the rock overhead, nearly camouflaged as the squeaking of the weasels above reaches fever pitch. Dorbs moths restlessly take off the cliff and flutter around. You watch as one of the little creatures pitches off the edge of the cliff and lands square in a Dorbs moth's back, sending it both plummeting to the bottom. As the large moth crashes fatally to the ground, the weasel curls its body and bounds harmlessly away, and scurries away to feed on its prey. Ooh, bounce weasels. You record the screeching on your hollow palm. What a noise. You're getting thirsty. You feel for your backup canteen, but it's missing. Somehow you lost it when you left this morning, and you're all out of drinking water. The suns are high and hot in the sky, making the ground waver with heat, haze, and mirages. Your mouth feels dry, so dry, and your head is starting to ache. You're pretty far from the outpost. You could make it back, but that'd be it for the expedition. You'd have to go home. There's no natural water around, but in your search to turn up your lost canteen, whew, that was lucky. You found it. Oh, that's a thumpy machine. Well, check out the thumpy machine. You find your way back. You find your way blocked by a massive wall. No, a hollow pillar, knocked over and lying on the side of the sand. It's absolutely massive, as it stretches to your left and right, at least a kilometer on each direction. Though at some point it's crumbled enough that you could scale over it. Sepago! You follow the pillar to its base, a large pyramid, almost entirely lost to the sand. You brush away some of the sand and find that the pyramid is inscribed with on all sides pictures of, well, wormholes, you think. This pillar must have once stretched into the sky. Maybe it was some kind of observatory or sacred building, or a monument to the wormhole. Mysterious. Oh, that's just an alternate way to get around. No point in wasting my time then. Utopia has sent you to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but get the sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have a sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting and emanate a humming noise. You notice that they hum out loudly in midday, under full sun. The few crystals that have grown underneath shade outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They remind you of the convergent domain tech. They do indeed have roots, and they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted and warm. Much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. On a hunch, you cover one up with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside has gone dormant. The crystals turn clear, like the ones that are shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, the colors return. You wriggle one of the crystals with a loose tooth. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Boom! You're thrown by the explosion. When the dust settles, and you brush off the shards of warm crystal, you realize that some of the nearby crystals have also exploded. Are they connected underground? They could. There's so much energy in these things. Like you blew up a battery. I wonder if they're gathering energy from the sun and geothermal heat. Maybe if you harvest them, they could be used to power things in the colony. Well, that's probably what the convergent domain used them for. These crystals are like living solar panels. You dust yourself off and scribble excitedly in the survey notes. An important scientific discovery. You're too injured to continue and must go home. Early pollen. Wait. That last place I'd visit the spa. Yo. Visit the spa. Oh. I see. That's what the spa's for. You're relaxing after hours when Auntie Anne pops her head in the lounge. The kitchen, she announces in an artificially sweet voice, is looking for someone to help with part-time cooking duties. Someone young, someone responsible, someone organized. Someone who might have a little too much free time on their hands. Sweating away over humid food nanoprints isn't really your thing, so you hang back. Auntie Anne sighs and rubs her hands in her apron. Well, if no one changes their mind, I could use the help. Alright. I'm gonna call this one on the shorter side, as a lot has happened in a short amount of time. So, I hope everyone will have a good day, a better week, an even greater month. And remember to keep this year better than last year, because I know it's something we can achieve. And if I'm not sick, I should see y'all on Friday. And if you want to catch a bit more of me and my friends, go ahead and check out the JDMR. Link to that is actually in my channel. And so I'll see y'all later. Bye.